Now You See Me, Now You Don't, or Now You See Me 3 embodied almost everything that I cannot stand about so many movies that have come out in the last 5 years. The first couple are not great movies. They're perfectly fun to just turn on Netflix, kind of half pay attention, and they manage to trip people out there into thinking that they're clever, but they're fun enough. I assumed 3 would be in the same vein, and for some reason, we cannot go a single movie without bringing Nazis into it.
Why is it when something happens, it is always you three?
Believe me, Professor, I've been asking myself the same question for 6 years.
I don't understand why you need to bring Nazis into it. It's okay to just have people be assholes. Not literally everyone is a Nazi. They also, of course, do the thing where they bring in a younger, newer, diverse crew who are all smarter and better than the original crew, obviously, and they make a point to show us and tell us over and over again. It also very lazily and in a much worse fashion repeats the plot of the first movie. They couldn't get Mark Ruffalo back, I guess, because he was busy filming bangers like Mickey 17 or promoting champagne socialism or some shit, I'm sure. Rosamund Pike was the antagonist of this movie, Veronica Vanderburg. She's a South African running a corrupt diamond company, and her South African accent, if we can get her and Leonardo DiCaprio in a movie together, I think we might be able to get not only South Africa, but the entire continent of Africa to just not let any more of these movies in.
Are you Chris? You get for pay me first for them.
It was rough. And by this point, they've pretty much given up on trying to make things seem possible. So you just get a lot of CGI nonsense thrown your way. There was one kind of neat action scene, but it's like a half-assed version of the Inception hallway scene, and they don't do nearly as much with it as they could. Let's just get into it. So we've got Justice Smith as Charlie, Dominic Sessa as Bosco, and Ariana Greenblatt as June. These 3 are using holograms of the 4 horsemen from the first 2 movies to rob a crypto bro. So Jesse Eisenberg, or Danny, or Atlas, shows up and confronts them about using their image and is kind enough to just exposit their backstories for all of us. He's recruiting them to the Eye to go get this big ass heart diamond from Veronica Vanderburg. And of course, her father used this diamond company and was some kind of accountant for the Nazis and laundered a bunch of money for them. So our first big heist of the movie, after the crypto thing where they're all holograms, is this diamond. And they literally take this diamond at an auction in front of hundreds of people. It's hard to even imagine the amount of security that would be at this kind of thing. They must have had the same person who was running security at the Louvre in charge of security in this movie. So they pull it off. Our whole original crew and the new crew is reunited. They go to this weird magic house where Morgan Freeman or Thaddeus is waiting for them. And here's where they make a point to show that June is better than Jack Wilder or Dave Franco. Justice and Charlie and Bosco are smarter than Danny and Henley. It's all just the same charade that we get with everything now, where the younger, newer crew is always better. They're just prodigies, blah, blah, blah. It's so annoying.
Why didn't you just reprogram the synapses to work collectively?
Because we didn't think of it?
I'm sure you did your best.
The cops come bust in, Thaddeus gets shot and killed, but they all escape except for Merritt or Woody Harrelson. But they're finding clues to figure out about Veronica's past, which I already explained is that she's a Nazi, or her father was, and her mother was killed in a very strange way. At this point, Lula from the second movie shows up to help break McKinney out of prison. He's still caught, so the final climax of the movie is that they want to trade the heart diamond that they stole from McKinney. Veronica has set a trap for the horsemen, but this is all a distraction because Charlie was actually the mastermind all along. He was Veronica's half-sister, and Charlie, Bosco, and June actually outsmarted the horsemen, outsmarted Veronica. They kind of rip off the same sort of deals from the first couple movies, but obviously they're better because they can trick our original cast. And the movie ends with Veronica arrested, Charlie showing off, we get a cliffhanger, and at the end of the movie, they're all reunited. Jack and Lula seem like they're back together again. Don't know why they broke them up in the first place. Maybe Lizzie Kaplan's busy too. And I guess Mark Ruffalo had time in between 9/11 conspiracy theories to do a little hologram video and say that he has another job for them so they can do Now You See Me, Now You Don't Her, or whatever the fuck the fourth one's going to be called. And that's the movie. Everything about it is pretty much ass. They've completely given up on the original premise. Not that that was great to begin with, but at least the heists were more fun. The performances in this one felt very lazy for the original crew. The new crew is fine. Not that this movie wants you to think about it, but I have no idea how much Charlie's plan even makes sense. Like, if he knows about the corruption from the Vanderberg company and their money laundering, presumably he could just do a DNA test, prove that he's related, get his sister arrested, and claim the wealth. All of this seems pretty excessive and unnecessary, but I guess that wouldn't be as fun to watch. The movie also does a lot of annoying things, where in the first movie they were kind of targeting corrupt people to give money back to people who had been screwed over. This one, they just straight up call themselves Robin Hood. They make a point to talk about how the boomers have ruined society. At the end of the movie, Charlie redistributes the wealth from the corporation to the people. Obviously, they want to push any kind of wealth redistribution, socialist message that they want. I can't remember if there was a point in the movie where they actually called themselves anti-capitalist. I feel like there was, but they might have just implied it a lot. Really, the only fun scene in the movie is when they're fighting with the cops in the magic house, because they're using gadgets and illusions and stuff, and they actually put some effort into that part, it feels like. The rest of it sort of felt like a caricature of the first two movies. It looks like the budget for this one was about 90 million, and it looks like this movie is expecting maybe 50 million worldwide opening weekend, and it's going to need about 200 million with marketing to break even. So even though I think financially it would probably make sense for this to be the last entry, the fourth movie's already greenlit as of like April this year.
Not about money, it's about sending a message.
So I guess we'll get one more cranked out pile of dog shit for this series and be done with it. Kind of a bummer, because it's a pretty limitless premise. Magicians who do heists, and they take a lot of leeway with what's actually possible. So you really could have endless amount of heist if you put the effort in, but they kind of got lazy with it. You can tell they had a problem juggling all the characters this movie, and I'm not even sure how relevant this movie will be, frankly. I guess if I haven't made it clear, the movie was an hour and 40 minutes, and I thought it was a steaming pile of dog shit, which is pretty bad considering how low my bar was for this series.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
I'm not even sure if this one is worth your time on streaming. I guess maybe if you want to read a book on your phone or something with it on in the background, it would work. I'll just leave it here for this one. If you're one of the few people who's seen this, let me know what you think. Try to respond in the comments that aren't just insults. Like and subscribe and all that shit. Thanks. See ya.